Welcome back to the Kingdom Wayfinder. Today we're going to be talking about Crash Team Rumble's release date. So this is something that a lot of people have been pretty much talking about for quite a bit. And basically, with that being said, is that Crash Team Rumble, as of right now, actually doesn't have a release date. So looking back at the past couple of Crash Bandicoot releases, preferably on the console side of things, we had, previously we had Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time 2 years ago in 2020, and then 3 years ago, we had none other than Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. And with that being said, both games, when they were revealed, had one thing in common: they had a release date attached with them. And out of these releases, and even including Insane Trilogy in there, out of the 3 releases, the one that had the most in common goal was actually CTR Nitro Fueled, because CTR Nitro Fueled was revealed at the Game Awards 2018 and came out in June of 2019 and had a release date right from the get-go, and that also goes into the 6-month marketing plan. But with Crash 4, that's when they kind of changed it, and they went down the Skylanders route. If you guys remember with Skylanders, mainly with Superchargers and Imaginators, the games would be revealed in June of the respective year that they would be coming out, and then depending on which game it was, if it was Superchargers, came out in September, Imaginators came out in October, like every other game in the series. So with that being said, Crash 4 actually followed that whole mindset and was revealed in June 2020 and came out in October of 2020, on October 2nd to be exact. Technically October 1st if you got digital, but I digress. Anyways, with that being said, what I'm going to be discussing with Crash Team Rumble is that, surprisingly enough, the game, of course, as we know, was revealed at the Game Awards, but surprisingly enough, it didn't come with a release date. All they said was coming 2023. And this actually has a lot of people freaking out, saying like, oh, why doesn't it have a release date? This doesn't make sense. Where's the release date? And all I say is, welcome to the game industry. This is how it is. We have a release window. We know it's coming out next year. We just don't know when the game's coming out yet. And the thing is, this is nothing new for Crash Bandicoot, especially within the revival era of the franchise, because with Insane Trilogy, it was the same exact thing. And the thing is, it kind of shows that a lot of people who are saying, or at least surprised that there was no release date attached to the game, and or saying like, oh, why isn't there a release date with this? Why isn't there a release date with this? All I can really say is that kind of tells me that you weren't around for the Insane Trilogy marketing time. And basically, when Insane Trilogy was revealed, it was revealed in December of 2016, not at the Game Awards, but at PlayStation Experience. It was revealed at PSX 2016, and at the end of the trailer, all it said was coming 2017, and we didn't have a release date. The game ended up coming out in June, but we didn't have a release date for the game. And when we finally did get the release date for the game, it was actually around early February of 2017 when we finally got that announcement that, yes, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will be coming out on June 30th, 2017. And from December of 2016 all the way to June of 2017, that all lined into the 6-month marketing campaign that Activision pretty much had going on. It's just that they were sitting on the release date for the first month or two. And the thing is that it's probably going to be the same thing here. You're not going to see release date announced for this game until sometime next year. And you know what? Maybe there's the possibility that this game comes out maybe in July or maybe even a little later. We don't know. So basically what I'm going to be speculating on here is, when exactly is this game going to come out? When is this going to drop? And personally, what I think is that I don't see this game being, now that it's announced and revealed to the world, I don't see an Activision game getting announced and then they just sit for more than 6 to 8 months on it without it being released. I personally don't see that happening, so I myself is very confident in the June release of Crash Team Rumble. personally. And June is a pretty packed month, so maybe Activision is still considering whether they want to release it in June or if they might drop it a month early. We don't ultimately know at the end of the day. It could be in July, it could be in May, we don't know. And the reason why I say that is because I don't know if anybody knows this, but in June you got some pretty big games coming out. For starters, at the beginning of the month, you have none other than Street Fighter 6 coming out, and then at the end of the month, you have Final Fantasy 16. Now, I understand, like, different audiences and whatnot, and different gamers and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you're still releasing your game in a pretty hefty month that is usually quiet. So I'm actually pretty happy that June is going to be a stacked month next year. Regardless, I still think that the game is a summer title, but it all really pinpoints down to when it will be coming out and what month it will be coming out. And personally, I think that they are going to be aiming for the June release. It's just that right now they're just sitting on it because they might change it. You never know, right? Either for the better of the game itself when it comes to either marketing or just for release and sales figures, or just for the sake of it getting pushed a month, just for the sake of development time. You never know. When it comes to the gaming industry, it can be, even in other industries, it could factor. There's so many factors that can come into considering a delay or, releasing on time. It's just a whole huge, gigantic process, and a lot of these games do tend to kind of play into that. And basically, the reason why I say that Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 16 could affect the release date of Crash Team Rumble is because that's exactly what happened with other games when it came to God of War Ragnarok. So many games that were supposed to come out in November literally steered clear of November, and they specifically said it's because God of War Ragnarok is coming out that month. And I'm pretty sure the reason why a lot of people thought about that is because not just because A, it's the sequel to God of War 2018, and not just because B, it's God of War, but actually because I think everyone kind of just looked at what happened with Elden Ring and Horizon Forbidden West, and how Elden Ring just completely took over the world by storm earlier this year. And while Horizon made its money, Horizon definitely took a backseat when it came to its release, just like it did in 2017 when Breath of the Wild came out. And it's kind of unfortunate, but I do feel like, that is, a lot of things that get considered into these things. Now, I'm not saying that, if Crash Team Rumble releases in June, it's gonna flop or anything. I don't think that at all. I just think that, Activision might be sitting on the release date for that apparent reason. Now, granted, the release dates for both Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 16 were announced when Wumpa League was announced, so there's no way Activision would have known about this beforehand, that those two games are coming out in June. But it could always be a possibility now that they could look at and say, oh, this month actually has a lot of games in it that people are looking forward to. Let's see if we can release it some other time. You know what I mean? That's what it could potentially be. So anyways, my final verdict on this is, while I am confident in June, I would not be surprised if this game actually does end up releasing in the month of July or even in the month of May. So at the end of the day, realistically, I think it's still going to be June to line up with the 6-month marketing campaign, but stranger things have happened and it could be in July. You never know. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of Crash Team Rumble's release date and when we would be getting the release date announced. Personally, I think that the release date could be announced in February. We just gotta wait a month or two. That's really what it is at the end of the day. It's like Insane Trilogy. You just gotta wait a bit. So let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think? When do you think the game is coming out? And that's pretty much it. So subscribe for more Crash Team Rumble content. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with other Crash fans, and I will see you all in the next one.